A warm welcome to this platform. I hope you are doing fine and the preparations for the exams, those that are writing in November, are going well. So on this platform, we have quite a number of materials to help you revise. So Biology 2024, the one that I did for GCE, the video is available just here. You can find it. And also, that is paper 1 and paper 2. And also some other materials that you might need for revision. Okay, so in this video, mainly we are going to revise the 2023 ECZ Biology paper 1. So here is the paper that I did in 2021 Biology paper 1. And as always, you know that the time that we are supposed to spend answering the paper, or that you are supposed to spend answering the paper, is just 50 minutes. So within 50 minutes, you should be able to finish answering the paper. And of course, the total marks is 40 marks. So I urge you to stay up to the end as we go through. All right, so we can just start. The first question is, some lizards detach their tail when threatened by a predator. Which characteristics of living organism is shown? Some predators or some lizards detach their tail when threatened by a predator. Which characteristic of living organism is shown above, or is shown? So 1, that is A, excretion. Is it excretion? No. As you know, excretion is a removal of harmful waste or harmful metabolic waste from the body of the living organism. And growth, this is not growth, because growth itself is just a permanent increase in size, mass, and number of cells. Then, of course, reproduction. It is not reproduction. And therefore, the answer to the first question here is sensitivity. So, sensitivity is the one that helps the lizard to detach their tails when threatened by a predator. Up to the second question, the diagram below shows a plant and animal cell. The diagram below shows a plant and an animal cell. Okay, so this is the plant, this is an animal cell. Which of the labeled structures is found in both cells? So which of the labeled structure is found in both cells? So to know which one is found in both cells, you should be able to tell what are the structures that we have here. So for W is the cell wall, for X is the chloroplast, and of course Z is the vacuole. Then Y is the cytoplasm. So in both cases, or in both plants, both cells, you find the cytoplasm. So therefore the answer is Y. The answer that has Y is the answer, and that is C. Okay, I guess you get that. Then for question 3, which of the following is not a tissue? Which of the following is not a tissue? As you know, a tissue is made up of cells, it's made up of cells having same, in terms of shape, and of course the function, they perform same function. So that's what makes a tissue. Blood is a tissue because you find cells there, red blood cells, white blood cell, and all that. And of course, this is something majority do not take seriously, that blood is a tissue. So blood is a liquid tissue. And of course, because there are cells inside or in blood. Then of course, the epidermis is a tissue also, because you're going to find epidermal cells. Muscle is made up of muscle cells. But for a leaf, it's an organ, because inside it, there are tissues. Okay? So here the answer is C as well. A leaf is not a tissue, instead is an organ. Question 4. The graph shows how pH affects the rate of an enzyme-controlled reaction. Which letter on the graph shows the optimum pH? So now, if you followed my lessons, I think I have the lessons on the enzymes, or maybe at school. You are aware that the optimum, or the pH, that is the optimum pH, is normally found on top of the graph. If you are given a graph like this. So the one on top, that is what we call the optimum pH. And that's the pH at which the enzyme works well. So the optimum pH is C. So the answer therefore is C. Then let us go to question 5. The table below shows some food tests which contain, or which, the table below, or let me just read the question. The table shows results of some food test. Which sample shows food containing both starch and proteins? So the key thing here is starch and proteins. Now, you need to know the reagent that is used to test for these. So 1, starch is tested, or use iodine solution to test for the presence of starch. And proteins, you use bulate. So in other words, the ones that shows in where there's bulate, it has to show the positive result for protein. And of course, where there's iodine, it has to show the positive result for starch. Now, last time I guided that how you cancel out answers, there will always be 2 answers that are totally wrong. So, the answers that are totally wrong, because Benedict solution tests for reducing sugar, and the presence turns the solution red or brick red. So these that have turned red, automatically they are wrong. So we deal with the remaining ones. Absence of reducing sugar shows the blue color in Benedict solution. So what I'm trying to say, that Benedict solution, if it's blue, then the result is negative. Okay, so now which one are we going for now? Which one are we going for? So in this case, we are going to go the one that has positive on iodine. So blue-black shows positive iodine or presence of starch. So blue-black, we have blue-black. But let us go on bulate. So bulate, when the proteins are present, it turns purple. So purple and blue-black is the one that we are looking for. Okay, absence shows that no proteins, or blue shows no proteins. So purple for B is the answer. I guess you understand how we arrived at the answers. And of course, this is the part also I urge you. Nutrients in biology, quite an interesting topic, but of course confusing. Or should I say it is wide. So please get to look at this topic carefully. Otherwise, this is where you expect questions. Okay? Okay, let us go to question 6. Which nutrient is needed to make the hemoglobin or hemoglobin in red blood cells? Which nutrient is needed to make hemoglobin in red blood cells? So, calcium, vitamin D normally are used, or normally they are used for strengthening of bones. Roughage, you know, is to prevent constipation. But of course, the one that used or makes red blood cells or hemoglobin in red blood cells, iron. So iron is the nutrient that makes the hemoglobin in red blood cells. So the answer is B. Okay, like I've said, also get to look at these in details. Question 7, a plant has weak cell walls. Which of the following nutrient was the plant lacking? So here, calcium is the one that is responsible for cell wall formation. And of course, lack of calcium results into weak cell walls. So the answer here is B. But of course, if you have the different view, you can still suggest and of course get to explain. Now here you need to know also the function of boron, nitrogen, and potassium. So this is just a work to show you that you need also this information. So please get to that. Then up to question 8. The diagram below shows a section through a leaf. Which arrows represent the diffusion of oxygen during photosynthesis? The diagram below shows the section through a leaf. Which arrow represent the diffusion of oxygen during photosynthesis? Now, before you point at the arrow, before you show the arrow, or before you identify the arrow which shows diffusion of oxygen, you should understand that plants, this part here down the leaf, this is the top of the leaf, and this is the down of the leaf. This is called the stomata. The stomata allow the diffusion of the gases in and out of the cell. And now you need to understand that plant utilize or use carbon dioxide. So the gas that diffuse going inside is the carbon dioxide, and after the process of photosynthesis, the byproduct or the product produced as a gas is oxygen. So oxygen is the one that diffuses out. And this, what I'm saying is that the answer is A, because it is showing that oxygen is diffusing out of the leaf. Okay? I guess that is clear. Then let us go to question 9. A tick feeding on a blood of a dog is an example of. A tick feeding on a blood of a dog is an example of. So now, a tick on a dog is a parasite. So that is parasitism. A dog is harmed, at the same time a tick is benefiting. I guess you know that, you understand that kind of symbiotic relation. This is on symbiotic relation. And just to maybe to emphasize on this part, I've not seen much question where it comes to question section A in paper 2 on a symbiotic relation. So you have to look at this also as one of the possible part where we might expect questions this time around. So please get to look at this very carefully. Okay? Then question 10, the dental formula of a dog is X3. That is for the canines. So the first part here I represent, not the canines, but the incisors. So this is the dental formula. Okay? So for the dental formula, it shows half a number of teeth. Okay, half a jaw, number of teeth. So what I'm trying to say is that half a jaw on top and half a jaw down. Okay? So the first part represents the incisors, where there's X on top and 3 down. Then for the canines, it shows 1 on top and 1 down. The premolar shows 4 up and 4 down. The molar shows 2 up and 3 down. Now, the question is that the total number of teeth in the mouth of a dog is 42. Find the value of X. So how do you find the value of X? In other ways, you might find maybe to find the total number of teeth given the dental formula. So this is how you do it. So you are going to add everything on top plus everything down, then you multiply by 2. So what I'm trying to say is X plus 1 plus 4 plus 2. I've added everything on top, then plus 3 plus 1 plus 4 plus 3. Then I'm going to multiply here by 2. Then we are saying the total teeth is 42. Inside here, if we are to add 1 plus 4 is 5, plus a 2 is 7, plus a 3 is 10, plus a 4, it is, that is 14, and of course we have 17. I guess I haven't added this one, which gives us 18. Let us just re-add. 1 plus, this is 5, 7, 8, 9, 9 plus, that is 13, then 16. Okay, I don't know if I'm adding correctly, but let's just take it once more. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 2 is 7, plus this one is a 10, then a 10, I think, plus 8 here. That is 11, 15, 18. So 2, 18 plus x, there's x here. Then of course equal to 42. We can divide 2, we can divide 2. 18, or let me say x plus 18 equal to 40, not 42, but 21. So x is equals to 21 minus 18, which x is equals to a 3. So the value of x here is a 3, which is a B. I guess you followed that. Okay, up to question 11. The diagram below shows alimentary canal. The diagram below shows the human alimentary canal. Which labeled structure produces the gastric juice? So the gastric juice is produced in the stomach. So you just identify where the stomach is, which is B. Then of course, let us look at this part, which is question 12. The diagram below shows the gill of a fish. The diagram below shows a gill of a fish. The question is, which labeled part does gaseous exchange take place? So gaseous exchange takes place in the gill filament, which is T. So D is the answer. And of course, in paper 2, I think we have a question on just the gill that we are going to answer. Okay. Now, question 13. The diagram below shows the life cycle of a mosquito. You know that a mosquito is a vector for malaria. It carries the causative agent for malaria, which is a plasmodium. Which stage in the life cycle of the mosquito transmit the pathogen? So the one that transmits the pathogen is the old mosquito. This one. So the answer is A. Then question 14. Stigma against people living with HIV and AIDS can be reduced by A. Fear. Do we have to fear to reduce the stigma? Stigma, judging people. I think that is a simple way we can look at stigma, judging. So how can we reduce judging people with HIV? Do we have to fear them? Okay. Do we have to stay without information, in short, ignorant about HIV? Do we have to listen to the myth? Or do we have to sensitize? Sensitize, which means teach people how HIV is transmitted, teach people the details about HIV. Perhaps we can reduce the fear and also cancel out the misinformation, which is the myth. So the best way here is sensitization. So stigma against people living with HIV can be reduced by sensitization. And of course, this topic also is on diseases or healthy. Get to look at this topic. In a 2024 paper, I think it appeared, should be on Corella and all that. But of course, you get to look at it more in detail. I think get to look at it more in detail. Okay. Then question 15. The diagram below shows some storage organ in plants. P, Q, and R. So now here the table given is that we have to identify the organs P, Q, and R. So now what are the organs P, Q, and R? So for this first part, is called rhizome. Okay, rhizome. What should come to your mind when you hear of rhizome? Think of ginger. Okay, think of ginger. So ginger, rhizome. Then of course we have the tuber. Tuber, you can think of potato, Irish potato. Then of course we have this one, which is the comb. Okay. So, which means we are going to have them in this order: rhizome, potato, comb, or tuber. This is the tuber, then comb. So the one that gives us, so this comb is wrong. We go to rhizome. Rhizome, comb, tuber. No, it's rhizome, tuber, comb, which is D. So 15, the answer is D. Then up to question 16. The table below shows the blood group in human being. Which blood group can be donated to any group? So in short, we are looking at the universal donor. So the universal donor here is blood group what? Blood group O. So blood group O is the universal donor. So the answer is D. And of course, get to look at why is it called universal donor? And of course, the other blood group here, it is called the universal recipient. Why is it called universal recipient? Get to look at why is the person with blood group A cannot donate to blood group B. Why is it that the person with blood group B cannot donate to blood group A? And of course, get to look at why is that the person with blood group AB can receive blood from blood group A, B. In short, from all the types of groups, from all the blood groups. Get to look at that. Those are the potential questions that you expect. Okay, what about question 17? The diagram below shows the section of the human heart. What is the function of the structure labeled Q? So the first thing you need to understand that structure labeled Q is a valve. Okay? Now, the function of the valve generally is to prevent the backflow of blood. So anything that gives us prevent the backflow is the answer. But of course, to where? So, controls the amount of blood leaving the heart? No. Increases the pressure in R? No. Prevent the backflow of blood into P. So the blood enters from here. So as it enters here, the pressure build up here. as a result forcing the valve to open. When the valve opens, the blood flows here, and of course there's a buildup of pressure here. Blood can flow back, so to prevent the backflow of blood back into P, the valve Q closes. So the answer here, it is C. Quite an interesting topic, I should say. So get to look at also transport in man. And this is a topic that never misses, I think, rarely misses. Up to question 18. Where is urea made and where is it removed? Where is urea made? So if you look at digestion, the end product of digestion, the assimilation part, all that, you find that all that happen in the liver. And of course, that is where the proteins are broken down into amino acid, and of course, assimilation occurs, or deamination. Urea is formed there. So the formation of urea occurs in the liver. So these that have kidney, we cancel them out. But of course, it is removed by the kidney. Okay, the process of urine formation. So the answer here is C. Okay, but if you have a different answer, please be able to put it on and explain. Don't, because what I've seen is that mostly if I leave the question open for discussion, some of you come and start asking, why is the answer not this? Why is the answer not that? So if you find such a question, or you find the question you feel the answer is different, be able to propose the answer and of course attach the explanation, so that even the people that are reading the comment will be helped. So please, that is how we are going to put up the discussion or the suggestions. Then question 19. The diagram shows the section through the human skin which labeled structure releases as sweat on a hot sun. Okay, so this is question 19. So please, what are the parts? You need to know the structure of the skin, and of course, what are the parts? And of course, this part has been missing in section A, so maybe you might expect it, because normally it features paper 1. So get to look at this on homeostasis, and of course the mechanism that occurs there in controlling the heat. So A are the nerves. Okay, so A, we are looking at nerves. I'm not saying A is the answer. Then of course B, we are looking at the shakers. I don't know how to pronounce this one. I guess you have the good pronunciation, gland. Okay, sebaceous gland, I guess I've pronounced it correctly. But D is the hair follicle. D is the hair follicle. And then of course C is the sweat gland. So sweat gland is the one that produces the sweat. So the answer here is C. 20. Which of the following is not an endocrine gland? Okay, so endocrine gland, you know that it produces hormones, and of course it plays an important role in coordination. So here pancreas produces the hormones. Salivary gland also produces hormone, but produces. So the answer here, let me not go into that explaining the thing. The answer here is salivary gland. So salivary gland produces salivary amylase, which is an enzyme. Testis produces gland, yes, and of course thyroid gland. So please, this is on endocrine system. Then question 21. When the nervous system responds to stimuli or stimulus, there are several stages leading to the response. The following are the stages. So what are the stages that the nervous system respond to stimuli? Okay, so stimuli is just a change in the environment. It might be in the pressure, temperature, and all that. So now, 1, these are the stages that we are looking at. 1, the central nervous system processes the information. Does it process the information first? Of course, it doesn't do that. So this one is not the first part. The receptor detects the stimulus. Yes, the first thing, receptor detect the stimulus. So the first part is the 2. A nerve impulse is sent to the central nervous system. Is it sent to the central nervous system? Yes. It is sent to the central nervous system through the sensory nerve. So we go for 3. Then response is produced. Is the response produced from the central nervous system? No, there has to be the effectors. So the next part has to be the muscles. So the nerve impulse sent to the muscles, which is now 5. Then of course, when it is sent to the muscles, the central nervous system processes the information. Impulse sent to the central nervous system. So please, before the muscles, we need to look at the central nervous system process, so which is 1. Then of course sent to the muscles, then the response is carried out. So we need the number or the answer with this order: 2, 3, 1, 4. So the answer is A. Question 22. The diagram below shows a lens that is used to correct deafness or defect in human eye. What defect is corrected by this lens? So you need to know the kind of lens that we have here, and you can see it is thin at the end and of course thick in the middle, and this is called the convex lens. Is it the convex lens? Should be. Okay, then this one collect the long sight. So here the answer is long sight. That is question 20 is B. 22. That is question 22. The answer is B. Yeah. Question 23. The diagram below shows part of the mammalian skeleton. Which of the following correctly identify the bones labeled W and the type of skeleton? So, the bone W, it is the fibula or the fibula. I don't know how to pronounce this one. The fibula. The patella is this one. The scapula, of course, not here, but of course the tibia, it is this other one. Then this the femur. So it is fibula, and of course this is endoskeleton, the skeleton that is found inside, like for example in humans. So the answer here, it is A. Up to question 24. The diagram below shows an experiment carried out in order to establish the process of tropism in plants. Okay, so as you can see, the first one, this is the first part, that is before the plant was oriented in this way, but after some time this started growing upward. Now going downward, you know that going downward here is positive geotropism. Geo earth, going toward the earth, but if it is going away, it is negative geotropism. So any kind of tropism that you've come across, there's always positive and negative. If it was going toward here, it was going to be positive geotropism. But of course, here there's no sun that can be seen that it is following the sun. So no phototropism. Hydrotropism would have been following water. So hydrotropism also is a response toward water. Away from water, that is negative hydrotropism. So in other words, the answer here is A, which is the negative geotropism. It is moving away from the earth. So negative geotropism. Question 25. The diagram below shows the early growth of a green plant. As you can see, there's a change in size. So it was small, it has changed in size. And of course, the roots, all that. And of course, you can even tell that the mass also has increased, number of cells has increased. So what is occurring in W? What is occurring in the diagram from P to Q? Mitosis. Mitosis is the one that read into the number of cells increasing. So when it comes to dividing of cells for growth, mitosis occurs. So mitosis need to be ticked, as you can see from the key. So mitosis occurs. Then also development. Okay. Okay, then now, so the answer here, I'll go for A. But of course, please bring out what you think is the answer here also. Up to question 26, some seeds were sown in 4 dishes under different conditions as in the table. Some seeds were sown in 4 dishes under different conditions as shown in the table. So this is the table that shows. So the first one, we have temperature. Then we have wet or dry. Now, before we go into that, you need to know that condition for germination, we have oxygen, moisture, which is water, and of course, favorable temperature. So now, we have the first seed was sown in a temperature of 1 degree, and of course the dry environment. Here there will be no germination. Then 2, the temperature was still 1 degree. Then of course wet. But because of temperature, this is not a favorable temperature. Temperature is just too cold. So there will be no germination. So in other words, we are looking for here 2020. We cannot go for the one that is dry because moisture is not available. So we go for the one that is wet. And therefore the answer here, we should have the answer that has a 4. So the answer is D. Question 27, the diagram below shows asexual reproduction in unicellular organism. So example, a bacteria or bacteria. What name is given to this type of asexual reproduction? This is binary fission. And of course, you know budding, I guess. Budding has to do with a large one, but a small bud it grows until falls off. Fragmentation, it is split in 2 pieces. And of course, spore formation has to do with the formation of spores. All those kind of asexual reproduction, you should know them. So the answer here we are saying is A, binary fission. Question 28. The diagram below shows some of the artificial vegetative propagation. What type of artificial propagation is demonstrated in the diagram? What type of artificial vegetative propagation is demonstrated in the diagram? So I should emphasize that if you are preparing for biology at this particular point, let me just recommend the book that you're going to, or the notes that you have to read. Go for the material called Zase. Others, they call it Boniface. Others, they call it basic biology. Why? Because most of the questions that we have seen here and the diagrams, they do come from the same notes. If we are to check this diagram, if you have Zase or basic biology, go on page 125. You're going to find exactly this diagram. So these are the notes that you should cling to if you are preparing for biology. Okay, so what type of artificial vegetative propagation is demonstrated in the diagram? This is called, this is question 28. This is called budding. Okay, budding. So the answer is A. And of course, be able to, what is grafting, rearing, stem cutting. So when you check on page 125, you should be able to find all these types of vegetative propagation. Then up to question 29, the diagram below shows part of the flower. Where are the male gametes produced? So the male gametes in this case is pollen. So where is it produced? So pollen is produced on the anther. So also no parts of the male reproductive organs, and also female. So this is called the anther, which is C. So it produced right there. So the answer is C. Which fruit will be dispersed by wind? So the fruit that is dispersed by wind, so also look at method of dispersal and how they are dispersed. So that could be the best book or the best material to study. So the one that is dispersed by wind should be light, should not be heavy, and of course should have an umbrella-like shape, okay, or wings. So the answer is B, light and has wing. Question 31. The diagram below shows the female reproductive system. Where does fertilization take place? So reproduction in, that is sexual reproduction in humans. That is where you find this. And you know that reproduction, it occurs, or fertilization occurs in the oviduct. And with this, A is the pointing where oviduct is. So it occurs in the oviduct or the fallopian tube. Then of course B is the uterus where implantation takes place. The C is just a cervix separating the uterus and of course the vagina there. And of course D is the vagina. I guess you get this part. And of course be able to look at all the functions. Look at the parts of male reproductive system and their functions, female and their functions. So you should be able to look at this. Then for question 32, the diagram below shows 4 methods of birth control. Which one is hormonal method? So we have the method here of birth control. Let us look at each one by one. So I'll start with the last one. So D here, I'm not saying D is the answer. D is the diaphragm method or the cup. And of course, this is just a latex. This is just a latex cup that is fitted over the cervix and of course prevent the passage of sperms or spermatozoa during sexual intercourse. So it is not this one. Then coming to C, as you can see, these are condoms. And of course, this is the common product on the market. Okay, so also it's a latex, normally fitted on the erect penis and of course, during sexual intercourse. So it is not this one. Then of course, when you look at B, B is called intrauterine device or IUD. And this device is made normally of plastics or copper wire, and that is normally inserted in the uterus to prevent implantation. How does it do it? By irritating the lining of the uterus. So it is not. So A is the answer, which is hormonal. Okay? And this produces estrogen and progesterone. Okay? So now they prevent ovulation and implantation. So the answer is A. Then question 32 or 33. The diagram below or a study was made on children whose mother was blood group O. A study was made on children whose mother was blood group O. And of course the genotype OO. You know that O is recessive. Then the father blood group is AB. So the father blood group is AB. Okay? Which statement is true about the children? So if I were to cross this, you're going to find that these children will have the blood group A. Okay? Will have the blood group A. Then you cross with that, it will have the blood group B. You cross this one with that one, it will have blood group A. You cross this one with that, it will have blood group B. So 50% will be blood group A, 50% will be blood group what? B. So which means all will have the same blood group? No. 50% will have the same blood group as their mother. Yes. 50% will have the same blood group as their 50% will have the blood group or the same blood group as their father. None of them have the same blood group as either parent. So which one statement about the children is correct? So if we had only 50% will have the blood group of their mother or father, one was going to be correct, but we are going to go with none. So D, none of will have the same blood group because none of these is blood group O and none of these is blood group AB, but there's only blood group A and blood group B. I guess you get that. Which of the following is beneficial use of mutation? So which of the following is the beneficial use of mutation? So here, the use of mutation with the options that we have: creation of nuclear plant, no. Formation of ultraviolet light, no. Making of polyploid plant in agriculture? Yes. Making of X-ray machine in hospitals? No. So the answer is C here. Okay? So the answer on question 34 is C. And of course, a polyploid is as a result. Okay, so this is as a result of the addition of chromosome. So during cell division, there's an addition of chromosome. So the chromosomal mutation, I guess, occurs, and of course the number of chromosome doubles or fail to separate, and therefore the resulting has the double the number of chromosome. I guess you've gotten that. This is something which is interesting that you have to read on as well. So the answer is C. Then 35. Which of the following are the characteristics of fish? So which of the following are the characteristics of fish? So the first part here, maintain constant body environment. So the fish is cold-blooded, I guess, cold-blooded, which means its temperature or the body temperature depends with the temperature or the external temperature or the temperature of the environment where the fish is. So it is not a warm blooded like humans. Okay, so this is called cold-blooded. Okay. Then of course, external ears. It does not have. So we are looking for the one that is not ticked here. So this one is not, this one is not. So since it's ticked here. So now we can deal with these two. So it does not have external ears. So we're looking for the one that is not ticked here. The one that is not ticked here. Jelly covered eggs. Yes. And of course it has scales. Yes. So the answer therefore is D. 36. Which factors cause decrease in population size? So the factor that causes population decrease or decrease in population size, here A we are saying decrease in death rate. If organisms are not dying, the population will increase probably. So this is not. Decrease in disease. When disease decrease, which means organisms or people are healthy, they are not dying. So this is not. Decrease in food supply. So there's no food. Okay, let us skip this one. Decrease in predation. Predation, which means there are no organisms or predators that are feeding on, which means they are not being killed. So this is not. So this is the answer, which is C. So please, at some point I might slide and of course make a mistake when analyzing the answers or giving the answers. Be able to come in and of course do the correction. 37. The diagram below shows the carbon cycle. So carbon on top right there. There's plants, then animals. What this means is that carbon dioxide is used by plants. And of course, these plants are eaten by animals. And these also plants can die. Okay, so we have dead matters here. So now the question here is, what does arrow X represent? If it was coming from dead matters, would have said decomposition, maybe. Would have said decomposition. Okay? Because decomposition, we have organisms that respire there. So we are looking at the process that contribute carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Okay, that is carried out by plant. So it happened that plant also carry out respiration. So the answer here is what? D. Photosynthesis produces oxygen, not carbon dioxide. Nutrition is the feeding. Decay, no. Unless if it was right here. It was coming from there. 38. Which of the following is an effect of deforestation? So deforestation, we are just looking at cutting down of trees. It might be for agriculture. There's that over cutting down of trees. Okay, cutting down of trees. It might be for agriculture or for some purposes. Okay, so the causes. Which of the following is the effect? So effect, decrease carbon dioxide content in the atmosphere. No, carbon dioxide cannot decrease because plants are cut. There are no plants to absorb carbon dioxide. Instead, it was going to be the opposite. Carbon dioxide build up or increase. Decrease flooding of low-lying land. Okay, we hold on this one. It increase rainfall. So rainfall pattern is affected due to deforestation, like the current situation that we have right now. Deforestation or cutting trees for charcoal burning is one of the contributing factors. Until we stop doing that, we are going to face challenges in terms of the climate change, and of course, increased rate of soil erosion. So this one, I would go for D, increased soil erosion, because trees, they hold or they anchor the soil. So when there are no trees, the soil become loose and as a result is eroded. So here, between B and C, I would go for, B and D, I would go for D, increased rate of soil erosion. Okay, so also here be able to come in, please. So 39, some of the examples of waste products of human activities are discarded household rubbish, excess fertilizer, industrial chemicals, untreated sewage. Which of these can cause increased growth of aquatic plants? So aquatic plants are those that are found in what? In water. So which one of the following? Discarded household rubbish, can it cause increase in water, in aquatic plant growth? So it has to do with the one that can be washed away into the liver or into water, and of course result into growth. So if you are practicing agriculture near the liver or water bodies, the fertilizer can be washed into the liver and that result into the overgrowth of aquatic plants. Industrial chemicals, we don't know these chemicals, maybe they are dangerous or they kill plants, but untreated sewage in water can also result into growth. So for me, I would go for the one that has 2 and 4, which is C. Be able to comment with the answer that you think is the correct answer and explain. Don't just comment, I think is C, or why not C, or why not that. Question 40. Which of the following is a sustainable use of resources? So this one, as always, question 40 or the last question, I leave up to you to answer. So be able to comment with your answer on question 40. Why I do that? I want people to follow the lesson up to the end. So those that are going to comment with the answer, which means you followed up to the end, and of course you finished the whole recording. Otherwise, this is where we end. It is exactly, it is before 50 minutes. So we've answered the paper before the required time. But the question is, can you answer the questions within that particular or within the allocated time? So please, if you are interested at the moment in the online lessons, you are writing GCE next year, we are enrolling for 2025 GCE. To get in, to register, get in touch on the number 0976 402563. Get to register with us, and of course, I'm sure you've enjoyed the lesson. That is how it becomes. When you register with us, you get to enjoy more of this kind of lessons. So please, if you've found the recording helpful, make sure that you share with your classmates, share in the groups, share with the families, and of course with the loved ones. Let us come to this platform and let us just revise together. And don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell. Whenever I post the new materials, you'll be notified. Otherwise, see you in the next one. And the next stop is paper 2 of this paper. So, see you next time.